Yo, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. It's January 4th, 2026. The time is 2:13 p.m. Pacific time. Let's get started. Who is Venezuela's new president? What to know about Delcy Rodríguez? Venezuela's new president, Delcy Eloina Rodriguez Gomez, has a long political memory that stretches back to her Marxist father, who died in detention during a democratic government before a leftist movement rose in its wake. The 56-year-old newly sworn-in president assumed Venezuela's most powerful office after U.S. forces captured President Nicolás Maduro on January 3rd. Here's what to know about her political rise. Compliance and cooperation. Rodriguez, who served as vice president, continues to insist Maduro remains Venezuela's legitimate leader. She denounced that the U.S. strike as a brutal attack, called Maduro's ouster a kidnapping, and at one point demanded the United States show proof of life on the dramatic strike. Amid her firebrand talk, Trump issued a direct warning to Rodriguez. If she doesn't do what's right, she is going to pay a very big price. Probably big Maduro, Trump told The Atlantic a day after Maduro's capture. But U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio suggested Venezuela's new leadership would work with the Trump administration on issues important to U.S. national security. We expect to see more compliance and cooperation than we were previously receiving, Rubio told NBC's Meet the Press on January 4th. With Nicolás Maduro, you could not make a deal or an arrangement. In leftist politics, while Rodriguez has deep roots in the country's hardcore leftist politics, she's also seen by the Trump administration as someone willing to negotiate with the United States and its interest in the region, which distinguishes her from Maduro. Also, unlike Maduro, Rodriguez doesn't face U.S. drug trafficking charges. She has appeared on the U.S. Treasury Department's list of sanctioned individuals for at least a decade, dating back to the Obama administration, according to the Congressional Research Service. Once head of communication, later foreign minister and then vice president Rodriguez is listed as ranking among Venezuelan officials suspected to be involved in anti-democratic actions or policies, serious human rights abuses, and public corruption. Although Trump initially suggested the U.S. would be running Venezuela, Rubio clarified it's not running it, it's running policy. We want Venezuela to move in a certain direction because not only do we think it's good for the people of Venezuela, it's in our national interest, he said. Death of socialist guerrilla. Venezuela transitioned to democracy after a decade-long military dictatorship that ended in 1958. However, the country's leftists found themselves marginalized in the new democratic election, which were dominated by two larger political parties. Rodriguez's father, Jorge Rodriguez, served as Secretary General of the Socialist League and participated in the leftist guerrilla movement that never got off the ground. In the mid-1970s, her father was detained in the kidnapping of American businessman William Najiz in Venezuela. He died while in custody of the government of democratically elected Carlos Andrés Pérez after intelligence officials ordered him to speak, according to a CIA missive. Mapping in Venezuela timeline of Nicolás Maduro's capture. Rodriguez was a university law professor when the military officer and revolutionary Hugo Chavez first attempted to overthrow Pérez in his second term. Chavez was later elected, and other guerrillas behind the kidnapping of Najiz eventually became ministers in the government. She and her brother, also named Jorge Rodriguez, closely aligned themselves with a socialist politics that became known as Chavismo. As U.S. forces pushed Maduro north to the United States, Rodriguez declared the country would continue carrying out Maduro's policy and would never be a colony ever again. Again, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, let me know what you think. Follow me on Instagram, the Studio 11. Follow me on X, the Studio 2020. I like to say Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next one.